Boom! Here we are, guys. Hope you're excited. Let's get the music rolling. Boom. Welcome to the Week 3 recap show. Time to get excited. I got the Demons with me. Demons, thanks for making the time as always.
Happy to be here, Johnny. Let's talk some football.
Let's talk some football before we get into the first game. We're going to take a look at the standings, guys. 3-0 Rhinos, 3-0 Vipers, and 3-0 Wildcats. And there's also 3-0-3 teams. The league is quickly separating, and it looks like it may not be as competitive as a season as it was last season, but there is still lots of time, lots of hope. But these 0-3 teams and 1-2 teams are gonna start feeling the pressure real soon. Deadline for the trade deadline is coming up too. Seeing what some of these teams do if they get into panic mode. But what is the most surprising when you look at the standings, when you top to bottom? What's besides? I know obviously the Demons going 0-3, they won the championship last season, but what's probably the biggest one that stands out to you?
Yeah, I mean, it is the Demons. And even if my opinion's biased, it's got to be the Demons. The champs going 0-3 is a shocker. Piranha's 1-2 is also a massive shocker. I did not see that roster regressing like that, and they're just not getting Burnside's the ball enough.
Yeah, absolutely agree with you on that one. Big surprise for me too, besides the two that you mentioned, was definitely the Rhinos going 3-0.
Vipers 3-0 too. They were
Vipers.
second worst team in the league. Rhinos going 3-0 is not that much of a shocker. The Rhinos started slow last season, ended hot, and they're just picking up where they left off. I don't think that's as shocking as the Vipers being 3-0. The Vipers reset their entire team. Like they a lot of their skill positions are new, and they only won 2 games last season, if I'm not mistaken. They've already surpassed that win total.
That's true. The Vipers are definitely more of a surprise than the Rhinos. Then it's really good to see the Rhinos quarterback. He had that big long run in the playoffs, Alonzo Atkins, and you can really see it coming. It's clearly showing the experience that he got there. Alonzo Atkins, the quarterback for the Rhinos, he's obviously playing really, really, really well, really at a high level. Um, when we'll talk about the other games, and then we'll get into all the stats. But let's go take a look at the other games real quick. So the first game that we had was the Demons and the Vipers. The Demons and the Vipers. They ended up coming down to the wire, 24-21. Vipers over the Demons. But the Vipers ran for a 231 rushing yards against the Demons. Demons were unable to get over 200 passing yards. And the one takeaway for the Demons was not enough. The Vipers are able to close it out at the end in a tight game. The Demons were able to come back at the end, but definitely kept it close. And the Vipers move on. Demons, love to hear your thoughts on the first Friday night matchup.
Yeah, definitely a disappointing outcome for my team. It's season 3's long in the past now. Season 4's slapping me in the face. The 0-3 starts rough. My run defense is easily the Achilles heel of my team right now. I've allowed 200-yard rushers, and in the week I didn't allow a 200-yard rusher, it was still a great game for the running back. And it's strange because the offense for the Demons isn't even playing that bad. Each week, I believe I've had an opening drive touchdown, and then a quick turnover afterward, at least 2 of the weeks, including this game where Kalen King forced a Corey Moore turnover in the first quarter on essentially a sack fumble.
Yeah.
But the Demons did nothing with it, and then slowly this game followed the same script as almost the first 2 weeks, where slowly the teams start getting back in it, and then they take the lead, and then the Demons can't reclaim the lead, and the other teams run out the clock at the end. Corey Moore only threw 8 passes in this game. The Phil Clemens, definitely the player of this game. Phenomenal day for the Vipers. 202 yards, touchdown, 21 carries, including a huge play on a long TD run late in the game that sealed the deal for the Vipers. But yeah, you look at some of the Demons on offense. They were playing well. Watson, 3 touchdowns, 75% completion percentage. Antwine, 7 receptions, 76 yards, and a great touchdown grab to get him back in the game in the 4th. Lamar Ball, 7 catches, 80 yards, 2 touchdowns. That duo's like that offense is still rolling. It's the Demons defense that's letting the team down right now, which shows on the stats as the overall defense. They're 11th. But the Vipers D continues to play well, and that's contributing to the 3-0 start. Despite how much accolades I'm saying about the Demons offense here, they did limit the Demons to 245 yards, which, I mean, this is a high-powered offense. They just seem, right now, the Demons seem to lack that killer instinct that they had from last season. They're doing things well. They're just not. There just seems to be something missing, and I've got to figure it out. But I also, good day by rookie CB Noah Childs. Had 8 tackles on the day, which was a great day for the rookie.
Absolutely, these Demons, man, they just missing that little bit of oomph, the championship hangover, whatever you want to call it. But the Demons, Eric Watson, 9-1, and 130 quarterback rating. He's tied for first at 9-1 with 9 touchdowns, and he's 8th for yards with 774. He's 0-3. He has actually been playing really, really well. But like you said, the defense letting up 2 200-yard rushers. Lamar Lester only 2 touchdowns, but he also has 4. He's got 4 catches for 122 yards and 3 touchdowns, though. But he's only got 2 on the ground, which is tied for 10th in the league for rushing touchdowns. So he's definitely could use some help there, and you know the team has been really, really doing really well offensively, but like you said, they can't get it done defensively. It's quite.
Well, that's what's killing the team. The defensive formation that stopped the run last year. It's the same. A lot of the same players on defense. There's really only Corey Denman is the real big change on the starting roster as the rookie corner. And this is the same, so basically the same lineup that held Burnsides in the playoffs and held Marshall in the championship is just a sieve for the run against the run to start this year. And it is draining the clock and not letting the offense stay on, get enough possessions to put up points. But these Vipers, look at Corey Moore. Let's look at Corey Moore.
I was just gonna say, let's go look at the Vipers rankings, because I didn't really get a good shot at their rankings there. They end up finishing with the 3rd best rushing offense and the 2nd best defense, and 2nd for turnovers. Looking really, really strong defensively, and looking like a really good running game, man. 200-yard rushing game by Phil Clemens. Like, what a performance by him. But the real story, like you said, is gotta be Corey Moore, the rookie. 142 quarterback rating, 600 yards, and 8 for 1. His 598 yards is 10th in the league. But he's tied for 2nd for most passing touchdowns with 8. Phil Clemens, 4 touchdowns, which is tied for 2nd, but he has the 3rd most rushing yards with 424 rushing yards, averaging 8.4 yards a carry. Phil Clemens, man, having an absolutely phenomenal start to the season in his 5th year as a pro. And then Quincy Drennan, 6 touchdowns, which is tied for first. Or actually, not tied for first, is first, sorry. Number 1 in the league for catching touchdowns with 6. He's also first for yards with 425 receiving yards and 15 catches, which is 4th. We have never seen the Vipers this strong offensively. Like, ever in franchise history, in my opinion.
They're moving the ball well, and the defense is getting it back for them, forcing punts, getting their share of turnovers. This is a well-rounded team that is definitely turned the corner after a rough season 3. Season 4, it's night and day, and they're out to make a run.
Yeah, absolutely. The Vipers are out for blood. 4 turnovers already, and Noah Childs coming up huge for them. Dale Wooden with 2 sacks, 16 tackles for Noah Childs. You know the Vipers have got to be excited about that, leading his team in tackles, and then obviously the 2 interceptions. Vipers looking absolutely deadly, man. So let's go take a look at the next game, which was the Bears and the Blue Jays.
Big Friday nighter.
The big Friday nighter, and the Bears are able to win this game 31-24. The Bears throw for over 300 passing yards and keep the Blue Jays to only 213 passing yards. But the running game for Blaine Higgins was really well for the Blue Jays, and Eric Reeves actually played really well as well. No flawless game, no turnovers, but the Bears just so strong offensively, man. End up finishing with the second best offense, the number 1 in passing. Bill Morris is just absolutely phenomenal. He's also tied for first with 9 touchdowns. Bill Morris has been playing really at a high level, and he brought it playing against Eric Reeves. Eric Reeves last week threw 5 touchdowns, but this week was unable to get it going offensively, and up only scoring 24 points. Ended up finishing with a 3rd total offense. This game was a really back and forth game, but it wasn't the kind of game that we thought it was going to be, that's for sure. I thought this was going to be way more offensively heavy. A lot of the stuff went down all in the second quarter. 17 points for the Bears and 13 points for the Blue Jays, all in the second quarter there. And the Bears come away with the win. Stevens, what are your thoughts on this game?
My first thought, let's take a look at the opening drive. The Blue Jays are moving the ball well. But then the Bears, you look at those Bears defensive numbers you have up there. You're going to backtrack. 10th overall defense, 9th and then tied for 7th, -2 turnover differential. Now, hear me out on this, because the Bears opening drive, their defense is allowing the Blue Jays to drive, allowing yards, and then they get a sack they actually force Eric Reeves to fumble, and that ends up forcing a field goal. And that was a big moment in this game because the Bears ended up forcing 3 field goals in the first half alone. And that's the difference, and that's what this Bears defense is doing. They're keeping teams out of the end zone on long drives. So those numbers don't back up that aspect. There's really not a spot on the stat sheet for that aspect, the fact that they're not breaking. And that was a key reason why the Bears won this game, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I agree with that second quarter, just a massive quarter. Higgins had a long TD run. Strickland had 2 TD catches in the quarter alone. But what a day by Bill Morris. 4 touchdowns, including a 59-yard beauty to Strickler on the game winner. This play looked dead, John. This game-winning touchdown. It was dead. The coverage was there. The receivers couldn't get open. But the Blue Jays, the pressure couldn't get to Morris, and then Strickland turns his route upfield and breaks free from double coverage. Morris hits him down the left sideline for a bang-on throw. He ends the day with 152.8 rating, 334 yards as well. Reeves, 80% completion percentage, just massive completion percentage. But only 224 yards and only 1 touchdown. 1 touchdown. We'll circle back to that. Too many drives stalled out by that Bears defense. It's throwing 80%, but not getting into the end zone.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. Bill Morris played really well. The defense played really well for the Bears, and the Bears making the Blue Jays settle for the field goals is a huge one, obviously. But when you look at just the quarterbacks, the Bill Morris had 152 quarterback rating, 4 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, where Eric Reeves had 130 quarterback rating but only had 1 touchdown, and it just was not enough. They weren't able to close the game when they needed to. So let's go take a look at some of the stats for these guys. So we'll go take a look at the Bears. The Bears, Bill Morris, 136 quarterback rating now, and 914 yards, and 9 touchdowns, 2 picks. He's been playing absolutely phenomenal football, especially this past week here in week 3. William Hillard, 4 touchdowns, which is definitely tied for second, 353 yards. And then Blaine Strickland leads the team with catches, with 14 catches and 6 touchdowns, which he is tied for Quincy Drennan. I believe he is.
Yep.
Yeah, he is tied with Quincy Drennan. So the Bears really going to their man Blaine Strickland for the touchdowns, and they come away with the big win over these Blue Jays, who were looking really strong the first 2 weeks, but were unable to get it done. Tyrone Penn leads their team in defensive tackles. They got 1 sack by the rookie Bass, and no interceptions yet for the Bears. We'll go take a look at the Blue Jays. The Blue Jays quarterback Eric Reeves is yet to throw a pick. 7-0 so far to start the season. 148.8 quarterback rating, 863 yards, and has a 71 completion rating. Wow, 13 yards, 13-yard average, but has taken 3 sacks so far. Blaine Higgins.
Only won a game though. That's not really that bad.
Yeah, that's not bad. Yeah, the 3 sacks. Yeah. 385 yards, 4 touchdowns on the ground, 7.1 yards a carry. Blaine Higgins has definitely been running with a full head of steam compared to last season.
Absolutely. Blaine Higgins is playing lights out to start season 4.
And then Sean Rucker, the rookie, leading the team in catches by a large margin, by 7 total catches. 17 catches by the young rookie, 275 yards, but only 2 touchdowns for him, Adam Hill, and Antrell Adams. But a lot of receivers with over 100 yards, and Eric Reeves is definitely distributing the ball.
Yeah, look at those 2 rookies leading the way. 17 catches, 10 catches for the 2 rookies, 2 touchdowns for both of them. Well done by those rookies.
Yeah, that's awesome to see. Love to see it. Love to see it. And then Fred Smith and Peter Walker, the rookie strong safety drafted by the Blue Jays, is leading the team, both tied with 13 tackles, 1 sack by Paul Watts, the monster over there, 6'5" defensive end. And then the Josh Burnsides. This might burn a little bit. This might burn sides your side. There, he gets the big pick and the defensive touchdown, and what an incredible play that was by Burnside's individual effort that was. And the Blue Jays lose the game, but looked really strong all around. That's for sure. Let's go take a look at the Blue Jays schedule of who they're playing. They're playing the Rhinos next week. That's going to be a big game for sure. Alright, let's go take a look at the next game, which was the Gators and the Cobras. And what a great game this was. Where is it? Boom. These 2 teams, man, played right down to the wire, man. What an ending this was. Just an absolute exciting game. Definitely game of the week by far. Both these teams really played like it was a playoff game. in my opinion, it felt like a playoff game out there. No one wanted to go 0-3. They knew the repercussions of going 0-3, that they couldn't come back from it. So these teams went hard, and you could really feel it out there when these teams were playing. Super exciting game to watch. But the 3 takeaways by the Cobras still was not enough. It was the 1 interception by the Gators at the end after they got the crazy kick return. I absolutely jumped out of my seat. I could not believe the kick return by the Gators there when they took the lead right at the end. Just back and forth drama. If you get a chance to watch one of these games this week, you make sure you watch this one. Demons, love to hear your thoughts on this game, on this thriller.
Tale of 2 halves in this one. Cobras winning the first half. They were up 24-14 at halftime, and the Gators turned it around in the second half, outscoring the Cobras 17-3. But yeah, what an ending, Johnny. Absolutely. This one was a great game. 2 teams that were 0-2, desperately trying to avoid that 0-3 start. And you mentioned earlier in the show the pressure of being 0-3. Like, I'm feeling it. I'm 0-3. Doesn't feel good. It's a big hole to dig out of. The Cobras have some pretty poor offensive stats up on the screen right now, but their offense was showing signs of life early in this game, and they looked like they figured some things out. But then the same struggles started to show up in the second half, unfortunately for them. I liked Thomas Brown picking up his first career win. Had 193 yards and 3 touchdowns in the day, but threw 2 picks, but against a very strong Cobras defense. This team has always been known for its defense as long as I've been in the league. So 2 picks against that D for a rookie quarterback, it's going to happen. They were going to ball hawk that rookie. But congrats on the win for Thomas Brown. Rigo Bennett picked up a nice 100-yard game himself, the rookie running back.
Yeah.
Charles Hackett thought he had a good day as well. 81 yards and a touchdown. But in the end, it's the Cobras pass game that let them down in this one.
Yeah.
They only threw for 217 yards, but I feel like they just needed a little more big play ability.
Yeah.
And they could have maybe made another play here or there to win the game. This was a great ending. First, you have Brown hitting Clemens for a TD, tie it up. Cobras respond with a field goal of their own. This is in the fourth quarter. Take the lead by 3 points, and on the on-swing kickoff, yeah, like you said, Johnny, Ingram for the Gators takes it all the way to the house to seal the deal. Just nonstop action in that fourth quarter. Some key stats in this one. Middle linebacker Alex Dombrowski. He's a rookie for the Gators. He ended up having 2 tackles for a loss on the day. Good day for him. And 2 Cobras interceptions. They were by second-year corner Kyle Pounds and third-year safety Andrew McGuire. That strong secondary of the Cobras was looking good in this one.
Yeah, they sure are, man. There's something about these Cobras, man. That's why I had them rated so high. Because they have everything. The more and more I watch them, they have everything but the quarterback position. And I think, they gave Ron Simmons, they gave Ty Brandt a few chances, but they really need to put the alarm up about their quarterback. Even though their stats, it's really deceiving. The Cobras, we're going to dive right into these Cobras. Look at these 2 quarterbacks here, man. Obviously, Ron Simmons has had his chances, but Ty Brandt is just not, in my opinion, enough. They need to do something about this quarterback position. They got everything else. They got great linebackers, great linemen, a great running back, great receivers, even better defense, like the best defense. If they could do anything offensively, man, they could really be amazing. The Cobras, man, I'm really excited about this team. Can they rally together and get a push and keep their season alive? Because they're in it still, but you're in it to the very bitter end. But it's slowly pulling away from them. And the Cobras, man, they are just too good of a team not to be competing and winning these games, man. Heartbreaker, absolute heartbreaker for every Cobras fan out there. Just absolutely heartbreaking loss. Heart goes out to the Cobra faithful and the Cobra owner, because that was a devastating loss. Mike,
yeah, these offensive stats you're showing on the screen, they're just. You're absolutely right. It's not enough. Even Charles Hackett, 200 yards on the year. The quarterbacks there's not a lot of yards from the quarterbacks. Not a lot of scoring. Look at those. Not a lot of receiving touchdowns on that stat sheet. They're just not getting it done. They need to figure something out. They need to find the formula.
The Cobras have only passed for 3 touchdowns. They've only had 3 offensive passing touchdowns. And they've had 4 interceptions thrown. So they have to do something, absolutely have to do something with the quarterback position, in my opinion. They are strong absolutely everywhere else. Their defense are monsters. And keeping them in the game. Look at all the sacks they got. Grant Sanders, Roman Bell, Diaz, and look at the big one. Look at all the tackles for loss. 2 from Cedric Lane, 2 from Todd Young, 2 from Stills. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more. They got 11 behind the line of scrimmage. That is just, no one's even close. And then Kyle Pounds getting the big interception, and McGuire as well, man. Oh man, these defensive players, man, need that offense to do something for them. But now let's talk about these Gators a little bit, because I'm going off about the Cobras. Any other points you want to make about the Cobras before I change this?
Now let's take a look at the Gators. I think we've hit on that. I mean, unless it's a playbook change, it's either a playbook or a player change they've got to make to figure it out.
Yeah, offensively. Don't change nothing defensively.
Offensively, right.
Because the defense is doing everything right. Okay, now let's talk about these Gators. Whew, did they ever pull it off, man? Congratulations, Gators, man. That was a close one. But the big interception to seal the win. Thomas Brown gets his first career win, like you said. 7-3, still good numbers, still over 100 quarterback rating. Hasn't been running it as much as we really anticipated that he was going to. 57 completion rating, but he's got 5 sacks, which I believe is a league high. We'll have to go back and take a look at that. But
really, Johnny, if he had the most sacks against and the most interceptions against and the lowest rating, would we really be surprised? He's a rookie quarterback.
Yeah.
The fact of the matter is he's moving the football for his team. He got a win. He's an exciting story. He's getting it done. He's just going to keep getting better as time goes on. This is a great story to watch.
He is a great story
to watch
for
in his first year, like any rookie quarterback.
Yeah, absolutely. You're absolutely right. And he's competing with the big guys, even as a struggling young quarterback. So you're right. He's definitely promising, and he's gonna be a great story to watch for sure. Thomas Brown, Rico Bennett, only 1 touchdown and 200 yards. Thomas Brown, 27 yards and a rushing touchdown for himself, which is really exciting to see. But yeah, Rico Bennett is really needs to step it up, but definitely. And look at this, it is the Darius Henson show. 22 catches, which is gotta be the league high. It is. That's the most catches in the league. And they love going to this guy, Darius Henson, and Thomas Brown is really finding himself a new love there over in Gatorland. 315 yards, 3 touchdowns. Leads his teams in yards, catches, and receiving touchdowns. The Gators, man, they know what they're doing over there, that's for sure.
Well, they figured something out here. They got their first win. The receiving core, I mean, that's great for Henson, but you'd like to see another receiver have more than 5 catches after 3 games.
That's true. Look at all these behind the line of scrimmage as well. The Gators have been playing really well defensively. I believe they have the 4th best defense. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Wow, they got 11, the same amount as the Cobras, which is a boatload. Plus Jimmy Mitchell, Austin Slaughter, and Phil
Austin the
Smith.
Sergeant.
Austin gets his first sack, which is really exciting as well. And then Marcus Hollins with the big interception, which he almost took to the house, which was a big one. And yeah, Tony
Must
Miller.
make you feel good though. I know they're not in the team anymore, but you got Quincy Drennan with a good year, and Marcus Hollins with a good year. Ingram picked up his win. These are all former Wildcats. I mean, it probably makes you feel good that these guys are doing well.
Yeah, it's great to see. Absolutely. Love it. It's great to see in such a small league, so you got to know that when you trade someone, you're going to have to play them. That's for sure. But yeah, what a great...
You got your use out of them. They got you your trophy.
They did. All right, let's go take a look at the next game, which is the Rhinos and Dragons. The Rhinos win, and they win big, 45-21. Over 300 passing yards, 175 rushing yards as a team total, holding the Dragons to only 41 rushing yards. Getting the one takeaway, the Rhinos look stronger than ever. They are unbelievable on offense. Mark Marshall already had, I believe, 6 touchdowns in 2 games, and now adds on another 2 with 130 on the ground on 23 attempts. And he is just the gasoline to this offense. He's just so explosive on the ground. He's tied for first with as a team total, the Rhinos, and first for rushing, first for total offense, and first for points per game, first for rushing defense. You can't say enough good things about these Rhinos, man. And the Dragons just were unable to get it done. They were looking all right last week. Their running back was playing surprisingly well last week, which was really promising to see, but they just don't have the juice offensively to keep up to these fire hot Rhinos, man. And they come away with a big win over the Dragons. Demons, love to hear your thoughts on this game, man.
Well, the Rhinos look like a team on a mission to start this season. They look like a team that wants to get back and win it this time. They are absolutely on fire. They've caught a groove on offense. Their defense is strong. The Dragons, unfortunately, are finding themselves in the exact opposite position. I know they have a win under their belt here, but they're definitely struggling. But this game was domination. Pretty much from the kickoff, the Rhinos were in control of it. The Dragons showed some signs of life for a moment in the second quarter, but the Rhinos just look so determined all around right now, and they look like nothing's going to stop them. We'll see if they can keep that momentum rolling throughout the season. You were noting some stats. The pass yards in this one were pretty close. Adkins ended up throwing 327 yards. Platt had 309. But it was the run game that was the huge discrepancy here. The Rhinos outran them 175-41. Marshall had 130 of those. 2 touchdowns for Marshall, 23 attempts. And Barber, unfortunately, only 38 yards for him for the Dragons. They're similar to last year. They had some times where they were having a hard time getting Barber involved, and he just didn't seem to get it going in this one. Alonzo Adkins, though, continues his hot start to the year. They're calling that Jacksonville offense, and he's loving it. 327 yards, 4 touchdowns, no picks. Spread the ball out to 4 players with at least 3 catches on the game. 4 players with a TD catch in that game. just great quarterbacking by Atkins. Looks very comfortable in that offense, and it's giving Marshall an opportunity to get the ball as well. Great game by the Rhinos. Give some positive to the Dragons. They had a couple good defensive standouts in that game. I thought Jamie Foster, cornerback, ended up with 8 tackles and 2 for a loss in the day. He had a pretty good day. And then strong safety Keontae Adkins as well, 7 tackles for him. So the Dragons did have some positives to note on defense, but just the Rhinos just overwhelmed them.
Yeah, that's the best way to sum it up. 31 points in the first half for the Rhinos. And this is their second game in a row scoring 45 points. So, wow. Lonzo Atkins, like you said, 142 quarterback rating, 824 yards, and 6-0, playing really at a high level. Their running back, though, like you said, unbelievable. First in the league right now, tied first in the league. 437 yards, 8 rushing touchdowns. In how many games?
3 games and 8 touchdowns. That is phenomenal.
Wow, that's crazy. That's crazy. Mark Marshall, man, running with a head full of
Willie
steam.
Burnsides. We've got Mark Marshall.
Yeah, here comes Mark Marshall. He's coming for the title, man. He wants it. You can tell he's running with a head full of steam. And look at this receiving core. Look at all those numbers. And look at all the catches, too. 999. Like, he is really distributing the ball around. Even if they're not coming up with the touchdowns like Randy Dorsey, he's really moving the ball around. And they're running that many touchdowns. Man, this offense is number one for a reason. Griffith, Bennett, Spires, all have 9 catches and up, and Randy Dorsey with 13 and 3 touchdowns. Incredible receiving core for the Rhinos there. Holy smokes.
Oh, yeah. The distribution by Atkins to his receiving core has been phenomenal this year.
And then Alex Campbell leads the team in defensive tackles and with 14. And then Fuller and Lester Adams with the sack apiece, but no interceptions for the Rhinos yet. Excuse me. And then tackles for a loss, they got 2, 4, 6. Wilder and Ernest Martin with 2 apiece as well. So yeah, they're playing at a very, very high level. Let's go take a look at the Dragons. Brendan Platt, 121 quarterback rating, 809 yards, and 5-0. He's 62 completions rating, so 3 sacks. He's 10.7 yards a throw. I don't believe it's Brendan Platt. I don't believe Brendan Platt's the problem. Brendan Platt can really throw the ball really well. He got it to Barry Perkins 3 times. But R.J. Barber, 247 yards and 4 touchdowns, but he got all of that in one game. He had a 4-touchdown running game. So he's really a hit and miss, a boom or bust fantasy running back. That is what it seems like to me. They need to get a little bit more consistent there. And then their receiving core, Des Edwards, 13 catches, Barry Perkins with 12, 3 touchdowns. He got that in all one game as well. And Des Edwards with 2 touchdowns. I don't know what these Dragons get. They are very good defensively, but their offense just needs a little bit more, similar to the Cobras situation.
Yeah, it seems to lack a punch at times.
Yeah, I think they need more than just Barry Perkins. Barry Perkins is their big weapon, but they need more than just him. Because I don't think Brendan Platt and R.J. Barber, they've had their chances. They do have a trophy sitting right there though with their name on it. So I can't say they don't know what they're doing, because they do, but they definitely have been struggling and haven't really been getting the ball bouncing their way, so to speak.
I, Football is past glories are all well and good, but it's a what have you done for me lately type of sport, and that's
Absolutely.
you got to look at this.
Absolutely. Nine tackles behind the line of scrimmage, and um, that's quite a few. The defense actually plays really well. The rookie McCuller, um, how do you pronounce that? Is it
McCullough,
McCuller? And he's got one sack, the young rookie there, and an interception. The defensive end has an interception,
love
and
it.
Corey Wilson, also the rookie, got an interception. So
Must have snuck out into coverage or maybe a deflected pass. Who knows? But
yeah,
love when the big guys get those interceptions.
big man, and the strong safety Atkins gets leads the team with 15 tackles. These Dragons, man, they got the defense to do it. But can they muster it up offensively is the question. Let's move on to the next game. And that is the Wildcats versus the Werewolves. The Wildcats have scored 41 points. Matt Davis running for another big game. 174 rushing yards for the team total. Um, Keeping the Werewolves to 25 rushing yards. They had to abandon the run, yes, because it got away from them very quickly. Um, Two takeaways by the Wildcats, one giveaway. The Werewolves just couldn't keep up offensively. Um, they tried to keep it close in the beginning of the game there. It felt like it was a little closer, and then the Wildcats just ran away with it in the second quarter, scoring 21 points in the second quarter. The Wildcats, man, they look so strong offensively with that new running game style that they got. Their quarterback is not having a lot of attempts at all. Leroy Martin, the new quarterback acquired from the Scorpions, they haven't been using him a lot, but they're running game. You don't need to when you got Matt Davis. They got a new quarterback, new running back, new look offensively. But man, they were played really well here, and the Werewolves just just look lost at times, man. The Werewolves they had the one pass that was a nice pass, 7 yard pass from Kerry Kirkland to Atkinson, and but it's just not enough. They just didn't have enough juice there in their running game. They got the one dimensional there, and the running game for the Wildcats just took over, in my opinion. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this game, Demons.
Well, the Werewolves started strong. They were up 14-3 at one point. They had a Burke touchdown run and the Kerry Kirkland pass you're talking about. And then it was all Wildcats after that. We're talking that second and third quarter were a clinic in how to play complete football. They were sparked by a kick return off the kick following the Werewolves' second touchdown, return for a touchdown by cornerback Jim Wagner. Next drive, cornerback Eric Gregg gets a pick off of Kirkland. Leroy Martin goes to work after that, and it's all Wildcats. Just great complementary football. All three phases just sparked each other. Got that, and these Wildcats looked dangerous. They won all three phases easily in this game. There's as much as the question marks are out on Kerry Kirkland, there wasn't enough production from Darius Burke in this one either.
Yeah.
2.4 average on 9 attempts, 22 yards. That's not enough running especially if you're not throwing the ball. If you're not, you better throw for 400 yards if that's all you've got on the ground. Matt Davis is the exact opposite. This guy is loving his new colors. He's enjoying the purple and white, 164 yards and a touchdown on the day. he's having himself a great season 4 in the first 3 games. And Troy Jackson doing what he does another day at the office, 4 catches, 170 yards, 107 yards, 2 touchdowns. Great day for that receiver. But yeah, these Werewolves, they're the bigger story here. I mean, the Wildcats look strong. They've looked strong for the last few seasons, and they continue to look strong even with a new revamped offense. But these Werewolves have been struggling in the last 2 seasons, and I think it comes back to quarterback. I don't think Kerry Kirkland. I think if you're the Werewolves owner, you've got to take a good hard look at him and wonder if he's your guy, and how much rope does he have before you yank him out? Because this guy, he's not getting it done. Seth Spence, he got the ball to Seth Spence 4 times in this game for 112 yards and a touchdown himself, but other than a garbage time touchdown, there was really no offensive punch for the Werewolves from after that 14-3 beginning. It's a tough situation to be in, and we'll have to see what they can do to get out of it.
Yeah, I agree. The Werewolves need to do something offensively similar to the Cobras, similar to the Dragons. They have great defenses, but they don't have what it takes offensively. And that's just my opinion. Take it how it is. I think the Werewolves are a great team. They got the best offensive line, like literally the best offensive line in my opinion. They have one of the star running backs that really just has lost hope in the team or in the organization, or I don't know what's going on between the owner and Darius Burke. If there's turmoil, what's going on there? Because he's a great star, I know he is, and this has been a running back league or running back year. Like a lot of running backs have been playing really well. So I thought Darius Burke was going to have a great season, and he's just not doing it. And their defense keeps them in every game. Their passing secondary on the defense is just crazy good. They got new guys up front. They can do it defensively, but the quarterback situation, they just have no leader, and the Werewolves need to address that via trade, via draft, via now. However you got to do it, it needs to happen. Because 22 yards on the ground, I know it was only 9 attempts, but still, that's just not going to cut it here in the big leagues. The Werewolves need to do something. Let's go take a look at the Werewolf stats. Werewolves quarterback, 83 quarterback rating, which is definitely a league low. 719 yards, 5 touchdowns, and 4 interceptions. 56% completion rating, only 8.9 yards average. Curious. That's got to be low. Well, Ron Simmons, and he's third. So it's definitely low. And the Werewolves, they need to do something with that. Only 124 yards. That's got to be the lowest as well. And the receiving core, a lot of catches actually. 10 catches, 10 catches, 13 catches. Pretty distributed, but again, only 1 catch a piece.
If you go back to Darius Burke,
yeah,
to his attempts, he's like 33 attempts. That's 11 attempts a game. But that average, 3.7 average, it's on the lower side, I believe, as well. He's not getting the ball enough. It's as simple as that. 33 attempts over 3 games, and that may be is that the cause of their problems, or is it a symptom? Are they not giving them the ball because they're down a fair bit, or are they giving him, or is he not getting the ball?
Yeah,
because the play calling on to start with, it's hard to tell.
Yeah, it's hard to tell. They have been down a lot of these games early, and it's hard for them to establish the run. for sure. But he has the least amount of attempts out of any starting running back. So you're right about that. The Werewolves, let's take a look at their defense. Brandon Paris, 13 tackles, along with Jeremy Carson and Charles Bowling, the rookie free safety. They do got sacks. 2 by Courtney Clay, 1 by Norton, and 1 from Marvin Summers. No interceptions. Few tackles behind the line of scrimmage. 2 from Jeff Anderson, their first round rookie pick there in the first round. And then Courtney Clay also got 2 tackles behind the line of scrimmage. Courtney Clay seems to be doing some big things out there, but they can't do it all. This defense, they need some help. And I'm not too sure if they're going to get it. It's up to Gary Kirkland and these the Werewolf faithful. But let's go take a look at the Wildcats now. The Wildcats, Leroy Martin. They had a quarterback, Jeannie Ingram, in, I believe, week 1, throw 4 touchdowns. So they've thrown 8 touchdowns as a franchise in this season. But on the stats for Leroy Martin, he's got 4. No picks yet. 138.2 quarterback rating. Looking really good so far. But again, he's only had 30 attempts in 2 games, which is really low.
But they acquired Matt Davis for a reason, and that's to give him the football.
That's right. So Matt Davis here, 63 attempts, which I believe is the highest. Oh no, Mark Marshall, then Matt Davis. But they're above most teams. Look at the next is almost 10. So they definitely been running the ball, 7.5 yards a carry, 476 yards in 3 games. That's 158. But he's had a fumble in every single game.
It hasn't slowed them down. They're 3-0.
It hasn't slowed them down. That's true. 16 broken tackles, which is, I'm not sure who's got more than that. William Hillard. Rico Bennett actually has 18, which is quite a few for the young rookie. Mark Marshall has 17. And then Matt Davis and Phil Clemens. Then Tiki Carter. Well, we're already here in the list. Just going to scroll down real quick. There you go. But let's go take a look at these Wildcats. Definitely looking good on the ground. Number 1, tied for number 1 in the league anyway. And Troy Jackson leads the team with catches, 13 catches, 269 yards, and 4 touchdowns. Dave Rogers got 2 as well. And the leader is 11 catches, which is second on his team. They look great offensively. They were really slacking last season offensively at the last half of the season, but they did this last year too. Can they keep this consistent, though, is the real question with these Wildcats. Glenn Anderson obviously leads his team once again. This guy's just been a head seeker, seeking missile, Glenn Anderson. 16 tackles and 1 interception. They have 4 interceptions. Eric Gregg's got 2. Daniel Krieg has got 1. And then Glenn Anderson got 1 as well. 4 sacks, Mo Ambrose.
Just a well-rounded team.
Yeah.
Well-rounded. Making plays all over the place. Every aspect.
They really are. And now with Jim Wagner as well getting another kick return touchdown. That's 2 now in 3 games by Jim Wagner. Actually, he's gotten 1 in both of his games because he didn't start the first week. So he has back-to-back kick return touchdowns in his first 2 career starts as a kick returner, Jim Wagner. So that's pretty incredible as well. The Wildcats are doing it on all aspects, like we're saying. Let's go take a look at the last game, which is the Scorpions and the Piranhas. and this has to be the biggest shocker of the season so far.
Okay, I want to say something about that though.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
The shocking,
You want to
yeah.
take this off? You start this off.
Well, the shocking part isn't that the Scorpions put up 52 points and won the game, because I don't. Are we really shocked about that the Scorpions are that good at this point? The Scorpion, we know what the Scorpions bring to the table, and with Gene Ingram now, this is a dangerous team. The shock. So that's not shocking. Half of it's shocking in that the Piranhas are 1-2 and just got decimated by the Scorpions. This is the most vulnerable I think we've ever seen the Piranhas, and what is going on with the Orange Fish right now. We have no idea. Willie Burnsides is just not getting the ball. They're relying way more on Alonzo Graham than any other part of their offense, which is head scratching because they haven't changed their playbooks. But Burnside's only had 7 carries in this game, Johnny. And then last time we did a recap, I know we skipped a week, but last time we did a recap show, the question was the same. It was after Piranha's loss. Where was Willie Burnside? Get this man the football. They should not be 7th in rushing. This season, he's not showing it. But if he can get going, he's easily one of the best running backs in this league. If not, well, he won MVP last year. They got to get this man the football. With that said, so absolutely, Johnny, it's shocking. Is it shocking that they let up 52 points on defense as well? I don't think so, because the Piranhas, they let up a lot of points on defense.
They do.
They do, and I think you got to go back and look at their history. And they haven't lost a lot of games in recent memory, but when they lose, they usually let up 50 points. It's not. I think that's the 3rd time it's happened now. The Scorpions, on the other hand, wow, what a debut for Gene Ingram. They go with Gene Ingram. He ends up throwing TD passes of 25 yards. That's to Buchanan. 59 yards to Sellers, 50 yards to Wilson, 6 yards to Wilson, and 85-yarder to Wilson.
Wow.
72% completion percentage, 400 yards, and Tiki Carter still puts up 105 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Wow.
This game was over midway through the second. It was 17-0 Scorpions. It was over already. This is, unfortunately for the Piranhas, it's hard to figure out. I sympathize with them because I'm going through the same thing with my team, where I'm scratching my head wondering what's changed. Why are the team struggling so much? You just got to take a look at the roster and see what you can figure out, because you just kind of wonder. You're looking at the playbook. The receivers are the same, the running back's the same, the quarterback's the same. Why are they not giving Burnsides the ball? What can they do to get Burnsides the ball? Courtney Mitchell, I will say a positive for the Scorpions, because Courtney Mitchell, he's the top-rated tight end in our league, if I'm not mistaken. 5 catches for 98 yards on the day. He was a one bright spot for this team. But they've got to figure it out. But watch out for these Scorpions led by Gene Ingram. Gene Ingram looks like a man on a mission, and these guys are a dangerous team.
Like you said earlier, another Wildcat playing fairly good. Gene Ingram is a champion quarterback that knows how to win the big game, and just wasn't doing it for the Wildcats. And it's a "what have you done for me lately" league, and he went over to the Scorpions, and it looks like he's got something to prove, that he is not finished quite yet. They end up finishing with the 2nd best passing offense. Genie Ingram, like you said, 5 touchdowns, man, 400 yards. Just one of the most legendary performances you can ever have, and is tied for the record for most passing touchdowns in a game. And that's only the 3rd time a quarterback has ever thrown 5 touchdowns in a game. So that's pretty insane.
In his debut as a Scorpion.
In his debut as a Scorpion. That is pretty incredible.
Let's talk about these Scorpions for a second, because Anquan Seymour was a problem for the Scorpions. This guy struggled a little bit late in the season last year. So I'll let you bring it up. But he had some interception woes as the season went on. He's got good numbers there, but Gene Ingram's the man they traded for. I think you have a very capable backup in Seymour sitting there, which is definitely not a problem. But you've got to go with Ingram in this pair. And the Scorpions really solid defense. Jackie Wilson on kick returns and good blocking on special teams. Tiki Carter in that run game. The only thing missing from this team was a consistent pass game. And here comes Ingram.
So true.
We are now looking at one of the teams that's going to be one of the top teams moving forward. What a trade. I love the way this team's built.
Look at the yards per game. Look at the difference.
Oh, yeah, well, I looked at those stats and thought Seymour had played 2 games and Seymour had played 1 game and not 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's actually the opposite. Jeannie Ingram sat on the bench for 1 game.
Yeah, Seymour's he got benched after a loss, right?
Yeah, so he's played 2 and he's played 2. They both only played 2 games. That's correct.
Oh, I see what's going on. Yeah, Seymour played 2 as a Scorpion and Ingram's got 1 as a Wildcat.
That's correct.
That's what's going on. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Ingram, yeah, 9-0 in 2 games. 2 games. Okay.
Exciting time to be the Scorpions owner.
There you go. So, and then Tiki Carter, 4 touchdowns, 289 yards, 6.4 yards a carry. Tiki Carter looking like a bull in a china shop. Jackie Wilson, 14 catches. Does not surprise me. He leads his team with catches, 297 yards, 3 touchdowns. But Torrey Sellers, man, look at the diamond in the rough. The Scorpions with the amazing scouting. They did a really good job with Bob Klein finding him. He hasn't had quite the season yet, but he had a great season last season, and a lot of people overlooked this guy. I feel the same way with Torrey Sellers. Maybe not everyone overlooked him, but this guy really picked this guy out of a hat, but he obviously saw something in this guy that he really liked, and it's really panning out for him.
2nd year pro. He's got that year of experience under his belt. He's ready. He's up in his game this year.
Yeah, it's a big one, man. A lot of those 1 year or 2 year pros are really like having big improvements, eh?
Oh, absolutely. That's what you're seeing a lot of this year, and it's showing.
Absolutely. Bruce Moore, the free safety rookie, he's got to love that. He's got a new free safety in there starting, and he now leads the team in tackles with 16. Bernie Long and Jason Williams, his first overall draft pick there, has 10 tackles and 2 for a loss. 2 from John Phillips and 2 from Jeff Murphy as well.
3 sacks from Jeff Murphy, though.
And 3 sacks as well for the young rookie, man. That's pretty impressive, man.
These guys have made some good moves.
Yeah, look at the scouting. Yeah, like all the rookies are really performing. So it's really cool to see. And Andy Alexander, the old veteran, 8-year pro, comes down with the big interception on Alonzo Graham against the Piranhas. I remember that. That was an incredible play. And tackles for loss, 2, 4, 6, 7, 8. They have 8. And yeah, Scorpions, man. Oof. Like you said, they had it all but a consistent passing game, and now they got it. So watch out for those Scorpions. Let's take a look at these Piranhas real quick. Alonzo Graham, 114.3 quarterback rating, 810 yards, 8 and 2 touchdowns to interceptions, 58 completion rating, 9.8 yard average, 5 sacks, which is tied for the most as well. Yeah, Alonzo Atkins has been, I don't know how many, has he had a lot of attempts? Maybe we could take a look at that stat. He has. Look at that.
He's up there, yep.
Yeah, he's had he's second, tied for second with the most attempts, which is,
That's interesting. Look at the QBs who have the most attempts here. You've got Kirkland, Graham, Brown, Platt, and Watson, and those are teams that are struggling.
yeah, it's true. Yeah, because they're trying to come back at the end of the game and not handing it off to a running back, right? Trying to close it out. Yeah, it's really cool to look at. And then, yeah, let's take a look at these piranhas. Oh, Jesus. Okay. Then Willie Burnside, 1 touchdown.
I want to say he had triple those yards after 3 weeks last year.
I would love to see what his game stats were at the end of week 3. I'm sure we could go back and look. And they were.
I mean, it probably wasn't triple, but I mean, come on, it's the 282 yards for Willie Burnside. That can't be serious. Get this guy to football. I'm gonna keep repeating it till it starts happening.
Get this guy to
7.4 average, John.
I know, man. I know. I know. He needs the ball. And they're throwing it 82 times.
They should
Yeah.
they should have 82 runs and 38 throws.
That is the big. They do got a package. You're 100% right. That was the biggest loss in Piranha's franchise history, bar none. That was they have never lost a game from with that type of margin before, and I don't think that what they did was I don't think anything needs to be changed. I think I don't want to call that a fluke game because the Scorpions definitely earned that game, and they played unbelievable. I just think it got away from them so fast, so quickly that and everyone's gunning for these guys, man. Like everyone's bringing their A game when they play the Piranhas now, and now it's just a frenzy because people are so excited because they're caught on their heels that once they go up on these guys so fast, it takes Willie Burnside out of the game. And Alonzo Atkins is showing that, he's been under a lot of pressure. Man, that Scorpions game, they were smacking and hitting him. Like, he got sacked, I believe, 3 times, and he could have been sacked way more than that.
Well, you're not looking back, and you say counting the end of last season, the Piranhas are 1-3 in their last 4. This is not something that the Piranhas are used to seeing. The Piranhas are used to just steamrolling teams, winning games, usually by a large margin. It's unusual territory. These receivers, look at that tight end Courtney Mitchell, great stats in the year.
Yeah,
These receivers
wow.
are fantastic. There's weapons on this offense.
There sure is, yeah. Their offense needs some sort of spark to get going. That's for sure. Their defense, Kelvin Hodges leads the team in tackles and also has a sack. 2 sacks by Chuck Ross, the 1-year pro, and 1 from Calvin Hodges, like I said. And then Joey Samuels, Reggie Glenn, and Neil Mitchell, corner. Both, or all of them, have 2 tackles by the line of scrimmage. 1, 2, 3, and 3 more for the Piranhas as well. And 1 interception by Devontae Jones. Yeah.
Actually, a small number for these Piranhas, and maybe that's one of their issues. Just not getting it done on any facet right now. They've got to figure this out.
They sure do. And that's the wrap up for the recap show. I hope you guys enjoyed the show. And Devens, man, thanks so much for making the time to do this with me. I love having you here, man, and I'm excited to see the way this season's gonna pan out, man.
It's already starting to shape up. It's looking like a good one. Thanks for having me, Johnny.